Hey everyone, Temporal here, and today we are reviewing Etern's Rhine. That's a Plat Rhine, climbed up from mid gold to mid to high plat here, looking to see what we can do to improve it. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff.
Hey there.
All right.
And he's back. We have him in voice today. Okay. So, we are live here, and we're taking a look at your ride. You can see that okay? E-turns, you there?
I am.
Okay, and you can see the Rhine, you're good?
Yeah, it's a little laggy right now. I'm seeing if it's gonna
It should. It usually does. It can be a little rough
catch
with
up.
both at once, but I think it's going to.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Attackers incoming.
Okay, so you're walking out. You were playing Rhine on Nubani, which, you know, we'll live with.
Enemy contact.
At least you have Zarya. Sneaking through here. I don't love that.
The objective is join me
Why do we hate this so much? Why are we not just taking our free pin on this? That's weird. Yeah, that hog shouldn't still be alive.
It is really laggy for me.
Okay, let me on and reshare it. Sometimes it does that. Let's go like that and see if that helps.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, so we went through there. Obviously, we took the low ground pathing. Hey, Daunted, thanks for the 5-year support there. That's really awesome. So you're going this low ground again. Once you talk me through this low ground push, why are you preferring this over your other push options?
After this one, I got the hint and I took high ground, but I did not do it on this push.
Okay. Okay. So
Wrong call.
it's the wrong call in that this could be like a change of pace type thing. This could be they have super scary levels of poke and I don't like it, and maybe I want to like go back here and then come back out type thing, maybe. But really, they don't have a Reinhardt of their own to hold this with. This is easy to push through. Like, your Reinhardt, they're not... You can take this high ground very easily from them, and you're just working harder than you have to by going this route.
What I was thinking was, I was under the impression that doing that against a Junkrat is not good in those tight areas. Am I wrong?
So, it's a totality of circumstance type thing. Yes, Junkrat would be one no sign. He would be one red flag for I don't want to go that way, but them not having their own Reinhardt is a really, really solid green flag for you to go that way. So it's yeah, the Junkrat's just not going to bother me that much. Like, I can push in. I, at the time, at least had a Zarya previously. Like, we can go through there. Junkrat by himself is not going to be doing all that much to stop us. And having this high ground is pretty darn powerful. Like, hey, we want to go through here. And the truth is, down here, Junkrat can drop down here and spam you through here just as hard. So, are you choosing to go this way? No, of course not. If you were getting the jump on them by going this way and surprising them, maybe, but ultimately this isn't helping you, especially on a second push through here when the Junkrat can spam this just as easily. But yes, Junkrat is a reason to consider not going this way. The problem is isn't a better route to go, and the real piece of the calculation is there's just not enough. Like, the Junkrat is one reason, but the Junkrat by himself isn't going to stop you from getting from here to here with your team. You follow what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, he can't spam you that hard.
I get ya.
Battle of the Flags, yeah. Oh.
Come out and face me.
As you see, you even are doing a little bit of Rhine dancing here, and you still have half a shield on what's a longer advance than you'd have to do the other way. Okay. You're gonna fire strike, I believe it. That was not a... no. So here you are.
Come out and face me. Bring it on. I live.
You hit your swing. You do this. This is fine. You go low health. Moderately low health. You want to be swinging so that you have the option to fire strike here, because you would like to if you see that tire fire strike.
Okay.
Shielding is okay. Pinning is not. Pinning just isn't really going to work for us here. Pinning is... I'm trying to throw my life away, and it doesn't even look like you're trying to pin here where it's contained. It looks like you're pinning this way, which is just, well, I'm going out into the open to go a long distance with a pin. We really don't want this in any way, shape, or form.
At this point, I assumed I was dead, so I figured I would just... The pin was the last ditch thing. What should I have done?
The pin's still not a very good last-ditch thing in a lot of situations, because what you run into is, hey, I am eliminated, so I'm going to pin. Well, what you're thinking is the last-ditch thing is I might get someone. How that actually ends up working out is your pin on either of these people going to be an elimination?
No.
Right. So what you're actually looking for is if I do the pin, I'm probably actually not going to get any damage done, or maybe I'm going to get 50 damage done just from knocking someone with a pin. And I've got that silly little wind up. If I go for a swing, I'm going to do 85 damage. I might do 85 damage multiple times. I might delay when I get eliminated, and I'm pulling two people to deal with me as I'm delaying when I'm getting eliminated, which means one of my teammates might be getting more done if the fight isn't over yet. And the fight wasn't over yet because it was effectively a 5v5 before you went down. So, like, you going, oh, well, I guess it's over, I better cash in my chips with a pin, is rarely the right answer. That's not to say it's never the right answer, but it's rarely the right answer because you're in this, like, if the situation is bad enough that you feel you have to cash your chips out, usually that means there's multiple people on you, which means you just surviving for longer, assuming that the way the fight is going is not a you guys are hard losing, is worth doing. And, hey, if you're just trying to get damage, you're trying to get ult charge, pin is not the most reliable way to do it. Your swings are more reliable. And even if these weren't tanks and these were squishies, I'd still lean towards going for the swings, even though it's going to be harder to eliminate them with swings than a pin, because you're not going to get off. Like, if you're in such a situation that, hey, I have to pin because I don't have enough health, I don't have enough resources to keep going, you're very likely in a situation where you don't have time to invest the pin's wind up, actually catching the person, and then pinning them into the wall type thing. Like, it takes too long. So it's like setting yourself back even further. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Heroes never die for a price.
Wait for me.
Okay. Not sure why you're dancing in the open. Where are we going? Oh, indecisive Reinhardt.
We're going high ground this time. I was in voice comm saying, let's go high ground, let's go high ground.
They just don't care. I get it.
Yep. They came, but we only had like 3 or 4 people out of the 6 in voice chat that game.
Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield.
A little early. Only a little, but a little early.
Okay.
Okay. Almost. Shield up. Doesn't matter. Shield up. Good. Right. You don't need to give them as much as you were giving to shoot at you here. You just need a toe on the point. So if you can put your toe on the point and give them less you and less shield to shoot at, that is preferable.
Okay.
As you wander out to the middle of the point. Okay.
They
Ah,
were
good fire
distracted by
strike
the
that.
Roadhog.
What's that?
They were distracted by the road hug.
I know.
Objective A captured. Escort the
Okay. Okay. I don't really think your team's going to get aggressive enough to let you do this. Like, you're here. Your BAP has gotten a little more aggressive than I expected, which is great for you, and that he's actually kept a sightline on you. Your hog is here. But, like, you're going pretty deep, and I'm not seeing people just with you, and I'm not seeing you check really. Like, this is here. You have cover for a second. I'm not seeing that quick 180 to check. Do I actually have people to establish this? Like, I can definitely hold this corner. That would be great. Can I actually round this corner, though, and go up here and break line of sight with that many more people? And the answer to that is it depends. Maybe the answer is yes. Your Tracer's setting up over here. Your BAP did take a sight line where they can support you even if they can't offensively help. But I'd like the little more of a check on your team in terms of where they are rather than just hard press forward. Like, yes, I want staggers too. Staggers are awesome. But you are close to walking into a situation where you're actually just going to get return eliminated here. But let's see.
Okay. There's the
Okay,
check.
now your team's totally here. You did your check. You're good. What's that?
Oh, I said there's the check. It's just
Yep.
a little late.
Yep. Okay. Shame about the trap. You don't need to back out. I don't know why we're backing out. Your team has established that they're plenty far forward for you. Like, you did your check, you saw, you can now go take your new corner. Or you can go, if you want, go try to clear high ground if that's what you're worried about.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, you did get the Reinhardt elimination. You did get the Reinhardt stagger on them, which means you kind of get to keep pushing forward if your team is here. You don't have to be like, we got our one stagger, but now it's been too long since we won a team fight. We've sort of canceled their next team fight, and they don't really want to take a fight with you until the Rein's back. Are there situations where they will? Absolutely. If you're up here, might they go, we're going to force it with 5 because we know that you have someone back on cart? They might, but I would like you to take good positioning. You're Rhine dancing. You're Rhine dancing.
So I think there I was looking to push, but then I saw our Tracer got picked off on the flank, and then I was like, okay, well now we're 5v5, and I don't want to fight when we have one back on the cart.
That's the correct take to go, I don't want to fight when we're back there, but...
See, there I was pushing, and then the Tracer got picked, so then I backed up. I was gonna push. I was late on the push.
Okay.
You were right.
You're-
I should have pushed way earlier.
You're right. You should have pushed earlier, and you're also allowed to change your mind, but you're changing your mind looks like this. It doesn't look like, let me go back, or like this type thing. Like, there's more direct routes. There's micro-pathing is why I'm calling this Rhine dancing, because you're micro-pathing. If you're pushing forward and then going, oh no, I need to go back because my Tracer got eliminated, that's fine. You're doing a little bit of this type thing. Not a ton, but a little bit of this, which is why I'm calling it that.
Okay.
Okay. Good idea. Not gonna work.
I am your shield.
Interesting. Why is your... I want to see what's going on here. Was he hooked? He must have been hooked, right? Yeah, he was. He was trying to play too aggressive. BAP spot is back here. Not that you need to know that. BAP also could have played from here. Whatever. Not a BAP review.
Don't worry, my friend. I am
Okay, you're unsure what you want to do. That's not what we want. You could make the decision that I'm going to round this corner to go for this shatter type thing, or you could go, no, I'm going to keep enforcing this corner. Either of those is fine, but don't just give away shield.
I think I decided I'm gonna cower because of the tire.
Yeah. But you did have time to make that decision before the tire. Like, we go back here. You can decide you want this fight, you don't want this fight. You are down your Tracer, I believe it was, so I get it. If you want to push this, it's not wild. Like, it's not 100% wild if you want to push this, especially while your lamp is up and some of them will turn and try to break the lamp. You could push this and go, I'm going to do this. It's not amazing, and they still have pressure to push into you, so if you choose to hold this instead, that's fine. But this is when you'd make your decision, and instead you're doing a little scoot back and forth thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I know it feels incredibly minor and incredibly nitpicky that I'm getting on this stuff, but I'm trying to clear future obstacles for you.
Yeah, definitely. No, I
Yeah.
think that that's a mistake I make a lot. Cause I'm thinking I'm just trying to hold that choke while the payload catches up. But I can totally see why that's the wrong play because even so, like I had Shatter and they had no shields, right? I could have hit a Shatter and we could have pushed up, or we could have just backed up and played it safer while we were man down. I see where that indecisiveness hurts
Yep.
me. I get what you're saying.
Yep. Okay, perfect. I want you, like, and if you choose to play it defensive again, that's totally fine. I probably would have even preferred it there, but that's totally fine. But what you run into is you would like to have not given away 200 shield while you're doing that, because it lets you help hold that corner when they rounded on you.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes never die.
I knew that was coming. Mm-hmm. You just like those. You just like those a lot. So I actually wouldn't bother pushing up main here. I'd be going, hey, let me shortcut through here. It's a different angle. It gets me through faster. I don't need to be on the cart. Forget that. But hey, you can push the cart. Why not?
Okay, I was calling in team chat here 3 on cart. Was that the wrong play?
So what we look at here is you always have a decision to make of did we wipe them? Is there anyone we can go get? The answer is there's probably no one we can go get. So you 3 on cart. 3 on cart here is totally fine. And then, oh.
Yeah, they
And then
kept
about
jumping
now-
on and off. I was like, 3 on cart. Come on, guys.
And then now you say forget it to 3 on cart and you go take space again. So after you wipe them, if there's staggers to go get, you single cart and you go get the staggers. If there aren't staggers to go get, you triple cart for a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then you go up and take your space again. Because I would still rather you have this choke to enforce, or at least this choke to enforce, than the cart moved a little more because you had 3 people on it rather than 1. The increase in speed from adding a second and a third person to the cart is very minor. Like, it's very minor. It's something like 100% speed and then like 16 or 33% speed for each person after that. It's pretty darn minor. So one person is huge, second and third person, sure. If there's nothing better to do, absolutely do that. And there's not reason to take space for a couple seconds here, but then you'd go, we're going to drop to 1 and we're going to take space, because I would rather put the pressure on them to have to push through us, otherwise the cart keeps going with 1, than get a couple extra meters of 3 people push speed.
Okay, I get you.
So go take space. Please go take space. Please go
I do
take
not.
space.
I warn you, I don't.
Oh!
We can't, though. We can't.
Okay. But, like, you see how your team surrendered all this space because you didn't go up here? Like, your Hanzo would have been pretty happy to be up here. If you'd been up here, your Hanzo would have happily played here, type thing.
I completely get what you're saying.
Let's keep it moving.
Okay. Oh, no, you don't know what you're doing. Okay. So, I get it. Let's rewind a touch more here. This is why angles are powerful, right? And this is why, and Reinhardt players know why angles are powerful, because they suck to push into. There's a Hanzo over here, there's his core over here. We don't like this. We don't really like this. So what are your options as Reinhardt?
Options are to push main past the Hanzo or push into the Hanzo to force him to fall back.
You actually
Or
have
hold
a...
shield.
You found the secret third option. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, or to hold shield and let my DPS take care of Hanzo.
Right. If they're in comms, you can specifically say, push Hanzo, and you can actually intentionally hold your shield here so that these guys can't see it. You're holding it on your side of the corner, not giving them shield to shoot at, letting your team pressure Hanzo a little more, and then going through. So this is the small window that you get to go, okay, I am going to be a firing platform, but I'm not just going to stand here and let me go, I'll let everyone just shred my shield. I'm going to, take the step back and tighten on this wall so that these guys can't see it, and I'm going to call for my team specifically to pressure Hanzo, and then once he's gone, you can go push as normal. You got it.
Okay.
So did that happen? No, that did not happen. You're standing here letting them both pressure your shield, and you're unsure which group you're going to push into. Unfortunate. So Pressing into the best move would be this. Either one of these would be the next best move. Splitting the difference is the worst move. This is the worst move.
I think if I remember correctly, after a second, I pushed the Hanzo. Might be wrong on that, but I think that's what I did.
Okay. Okay. Option 5, control sneak and hope they don't notice you. That's true, guys. That's true. My chat is correctly pointing out that the real secret option was to just give up, go up over here, come down over here, and then come here, come out with your shield, round the corner, and surprise the Hanzo. They are correct. They are correct. They know that I like my stealthy main tank play. Why are you backing up? This was fine. You could keep pressing these guys. You could absolutely keep pressing these guys. Yeah, these guys are over here and I don't like it, but you, McCree, Mercy, you can absolutely keep going pressure, 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 and make them unhappy. Like, they're going to come right back. You could have cleared them off that angle harder. Okay. Now we go back. Now that we've dealt with the angle, now we get to fight in the way Reinhardt likes. I see.
Heroes never die.
Ouch.
You didn't see that?
Ouch. Okay. So you're actually specifically looking for that because you know, hey, that's an option that he has. Ugh, that just hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
So if you're back
Yeah.
here, he can't do it, though obviously he's going to have a little more ability to throw the shield up. But, oh well, you just have to not do that in his face. This will happen too often.
Let's keep it moving.
Okay. Close the angle. Close the angle. Nope, you're not doing anything. Over here, you're fine. Over here, you're relatively fine. You're not doing anything by putting your shield up and getting back in front of the cart. Over here, you're scary. They don't like that you're here. They know that if they advance, they get slapped with a hammer. They don't like that. But here, at first I thought maybe you're trying to wander back into his flux to get lifted to protect people from follow-up damage from the flux, but now I'm not sure what you were doing. This I'd be good with. I like the fire strike and then close the angle over here. Except you don't do that. You go back to the middle. You're not doing anything here. I don't care about the card. Forget the card. Whereas you understand you're scary if you're here because they're like, ooh, shoot, you can walk out onto our Ana. You can do any of that stuff. You have this infinite health cover in front of you. It's harder for them to go, well, we're just going to push up here to follow up on our flux. Like, we're going to round the corner ourselves and follow up on our flux. That's scary because if they do, they put their back to you and you just swing into them.
Okay.
Okay, blocks the rock. Good. You advance. You advance when there's a window behind you. I like it. I like it. Okay, you're going to hard shield until the purple's over. Now you're going to swing because you have a lamp. No? No, you're not. This is pretty over. That one was fine. That pin was fine. You're still going to go down, but conceptually that was a better pin.
The payload stopped.
Okay, this will happen sometimes. Not a big deal. You should easily shield and get out. You do a little bit of a forward step here, like you're backing out and you do like a forward step, like, wait, maybe I'm going to change my mind. You can be more decisive on this to preserve, an extra couple hundred shield HP.
That's the number one thing I'm getting out of you so far. Is I need to be more decisive on the push or
Reinhardt
the
is a very
fallback.
decisive character. Like your shield will not hold up and your health pool will not hold up if you make, if you have bad micropathing. If you do any of that stuff, as these opponents get better and better and are faster and faster at pulling the trigger, you're going to see that. Yes. The other thing that we're seeing is we've got some angle control that we're going to be talking about more. But hey, so you do this. Fine.
It's a shame I didn't hit the rest of them. I was a little off the angle. I was hoping to hit all three of them there with that.
Yep, you were a little off the angle, and it's a problem because your follow-up was always going to be on just you. Like, it was going to be on you to hit follow-up. And I actually didn't like the pin as an option for your follow-up because I was too afraid that Hog... Have you checked on the Hog hook? Actually, you probably didn't Shatter. I'm probably going back in time. Yeah, he doesn't have hook. You're fine to do the pin. The Anasleep's still a problem. Yeah. Little bit off. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
The sleep is pretty much to be expected. It's part of why I would like the swing fire strike here, but we'll do. Okay. So he does the whole hog on you, and when it comes to whole hog, you actually don't want to immediately shield whole hog, because when you shield whole hog, it doesn't knock you back. And it'll do a stupid amount of damage to your shield at this range and break your shield almost instantly. Not instantly, but very quickly. And then you won't have a shield for the rest of it. If you let him hit you with the first burst or two of his whole hog and then put your shield up, you'll get knocked back. By getting knocked back, your shield can then absorb a silly amount of time, not a silly amount of time, but can then absorb most of what's left of whole hog, because it's a giant spread shotgun type thing, and you've already been knocked back from it, so the spread hurts your shield a lot less. So if you shield immediately when whole hog happens, your shield is just going to get chunked. If you let the first two bursts knock you back and then put your shield up, you should be able to hold out okay.
Okay.
Come out and face me.
Okay. So here we are. You guys have a Velt going, but you're low health. They have the Coalescence going. You guys have plenty going. Time to push forward. Definitely time to push forward.
30 seconds.
What's forward for the opposing team? Where's the opposing team set up?
Just one? Or are you talking to the left?
Yeah. So this became your new corner, right? Like, this isn't where we're interested in anymore. This is, for the opponents, forward is this way. So you go, let me set up on a corner that relative to you guys is appropriate. If you wanted to be here instead, so be it, but there's not really a reason to be there. You can just do this from here. Okay, probably be easier to slap the Moira, but she'll just keep slapping the hog. Why haven't we just shattered? Done. It's free. Let's shatter. We're gonna find a
If
shatter.
I shatter on top of the cart, like when I'm standing up there, will it hit people below me? Because I thought it didn't.
Not at the very top of the cart, no.
Okay.
If you did it from this elevation, it shouldn't, but it probably does with the current working of Earth Shatter. They've changed Earth Shatter so many times. Traditionally, this has been too high, and this is not. When shattering the ground onto the cart. When shattering from the cart down, I don't know. I mean, now we're in the era of, like, you shatter from here and they get shattered over here. We'll have to test it. Regardless, you want it to be actively looking for a shatter here because it's the ball and the Doomfist, and both of those are mobile, annoying heroes that the shatter just ends the game. If you go, this isn't going to be that hard to hit them.
Gotcha.
If you're on top of the cart, you get hit by shatter if it's done on the ground. Yes, blah, at least if you're at this height. If you're at the high height of the cart, You shouldn't, or at least you didn't used to. But again, they've reworked Shatter enough times that I can't 100% swear to that anymore. In the past, this would not get you shattered. This would get you shattered. Okay. You get shattered at the top of the cart? Okay, Block, good to know. Okay. Okay, cart is 100% unsafe for Shatter. Good to know. Good to know that that's the current working.
0 to 3.
Okay, so yes, the biggest things that we're seeing so far is we do want that decisiveness. That's going to help you out a bit more. We also want to make sure that our pathing, of course, makes sense. Like, hey, we don't need to just path through low ground to make this hard when there's better pathing. But the bigger thing, because that was just on first, is going to be some of this. No, I'm holding this. No, I'm holding this. Like, holding this has value. Even if your team is over here, you're holding an off angle. That might seem weird as Reinhardt, but it still got value because for them to push into your team, you get to swing into them. Like, that has value. Holding this corner stops them from coming in. So we want to still be thinking harder about our corners, even when they're off angle corners.
Imagine the worst possible outcome. Now,
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Defend objective A.
So if you want, you can go for the forward fire strike here. It's pretty safe for you to do the forward fire strike here for ult charge.
fully healed.
You have a pretty good idea of their comp. You know their comp. Don't need to round this corner. Just back out. Yeah, just do that. So yeah, you're gonna have to go. There we go. Not a ton you can do about that. The only mistake that we could say here is, hey, you went in here. I understand why. In theory, by not giving her a faster out, maybe you caused her some trouble. Maybe. Maybe you could have saved her life by being here. It's fine. Make them drop before you do anything. Okay. So, yeah, you've lost your Ashe. This is a problem. That's the person you'd have liked to protect to do work from up there. Okay. You're going to have to counterpin. But that's not going to work well because you're down people. Yep. Okay, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
Probably shield until you get this corner with that Widow on the board. Okay, now you swing. And now you shield again.
there is still more to my tale.
Why? Why are you shield flashing against a Widow? Like, there's a Widow staring right at you and your team. You might not care if she shoots at you. Did you shield flash specifically because in reaction to her hitting your hog? Is that why you shield flashed?
Probably not. I think I started shield hopping to get up to the point faster.
Yeah, so shield hopping is a valid thing, but shield hopping is not a valid thing against Widows and Hanzos, because they will see that you're doing it, and they will time their shots and go, oh, your BAP is eliminated. Like, they will do that. So you can't do that when you're playing against those true, very precise one-shot heroes.
Okay. I would love to take credit and say that I did shield for that reason, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, like if you went, hey, she just shot a shot, she can't fire a charge shot now, so that's why you shield hopped, that would be fine. And you know, we can lie to ourselves. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Hold your corner. Don't round the corner. You don't have enough team threat here. You still don't have enough team threat here to round this corner. Now you're going to get
Close
to
your eyes
Shatter
for this
after
Shatter.
this bubble's over. I know you want to Shatter, but you're so obvious that you want to Shatter.
Close your eyes.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
I thought the shield was gonna break. I tried to time it with the shield breaking, and I didn't.
I get it, but like you could have just stood here until this shield was broken. Like you come out here so early thinking the shield's gonna break. Remember, part of why the shield isn't breaking is your team is back here for most of this. They're like once again not gonna be able to follow up on your shatter, and that doesn't mean that you can't go for the shatter. Though don't be surprised if it doesn't get work done. You're gonna have to be your own follow up for the shatter. But like you just stand here and do work. And the Winston used his bubble. You already won because the Winston used his bubble means you get to round the corner and shatter once the bubble's gone, or they all back up because they're worried about your shatter, so there's nothing to shatter, and your team is able to take all the space in the world because of your threat of shatter. You'd already won. Okay. Oh, another beating because you don't have shatter to stop their beat aggression. Okay. What? What? Excuse me? Okay. We know that the epicenter is behind us. We do know that. Turning doesn't take time in Overwatch. Instant 180 in shield. Instant 180 in shield.
Hold on, does shield block that damage out of the ult?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I
Okay.
actually didn't know that.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, yeah, that's really good to know. I thought it was just anything in the circle got hit, so that's why I didn't bother shielding. I've always thought that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, let me catch up on chat for just a second here. They were talking about that height. Does it cost extra when the VOD causes temporal pain past a certain threshold? Maybe. On the bright side, imagine how better he'll be when his ult manages to connect with an enemy. It's going to be a great ult when we connect with a couple enemies here. Twizzy, you're just making fun of my internet. Man, the frame rates during these replays dropped more than my SR these past few days. Jeez. Okay. I have a pretty good GPU, guys. Like the problem is I'm running multiple monitors off of it, etc. My GPU is actually pretty good. I just haven't turned down my settings as much as you would expect for most people. My processor and RAM are a bit outdated, but processors haven't really gotten good in the last years and years.
If you're looking to optimize your stream setup, I can also help with that too later.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, so here we are.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay, so let's go back here. You're advancing to here. You've decided that you're not going to be able to get this stop. Fine, I'm okay with that. You're checking on the status of your team. What is the status of your team? Is your team here? Is your team relevant?
Do you believe they are?
Great. I like it. That's what I like to hear. So why are you backing up from the corner?
because they rounded it and I was taking a ton of damage and we weren't pressuring them. I'm not saying this is right, by the way, but this was my logic, and this was actually something I was going to ask you about, because they're putting all that pressure on me and my shield was getting obliterated, and I saw no fire being pushed back on them because my DPS were up top.
Yep.
So I fell back because I felt like if I stood there, I would have just died. My shield would have got broken, I would have had no cover, and I would have died.
Sure. So where is your Ashe? Oh, your Ashe and your McCree are both here. Okay. I get that. I do get that. It's a little disappointing to see you backing quite this early. Like, you're doing half backs. Obviously, the Zarya shouldn't be bubbling you when you're half backing like this, but that you are half backed like this means you can't, get bubble swing value out of this, which is a problem. And you not doing bubble swing value is part of the reason that they can advance a little bit more. Yes, your DPS are missing. I see that, but they should drop behind. Like, my expectation is they're going to drop behind and just win this fight. Pushing back up, fine, and then backing up again.
So at this point, they rounded the corner, and that's when I saw we had no pressure on them.
Yeah, okay. So you're just going to fall back to your next corner then. You're going to fall back to your next corner. If you want to go here instead, that's fine, I guess, but usually you just fall back to your next corner. So here we go. I don't really like these fire strikes. There's a Widow on the other team. Like, I don't love this. You just stepped back into the middle there. Are we now just going full forward? Good. Okay.
The Doomfist don't stop me from blocking the
Yep.
wall.
No, that was coordinated. I understood exactly what happened. That you're alive is the more impressive part. Yep, we knew that was coming. We don't really want to fire strike that immediately. We do want to swing. This is good. You can swing. A swing will still hit 2 people. And we want to hit the swing because by hitting the fire strike, it locks us out more. Like, the back end of the fire strike is longer than the back end of the swing. We could get multiple swings on this. We're not really getting a fire strike and our swing on this the same way. Like, we could get 3 swings in effectively the time that we would get the swing plus fire strike here, based on when their movement is controlled and how they can move, etc.
Okay.
Good, but don't back up. You have a window. You have a window. Why? Why are you letting... No! You saw what you just did there?
Backed up behind the window and let them take the space in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was able to walk through the window because you weren't swinging at his face, and they couldn't hurt you because you had a window behind you.
Heroes never die.
Good. Okay, you're done. Fine. Good. Okay. You have to make a decision. Are you going to try to win this with Shatter, or are you taking the next fight? Now you have to take the next fight. Okay. No. I don't think you're getting out. Okay, they fluxed, so it's not the end of the world, but remember, like, once you decide that you're not getting out, and I don't think you were getting out, that just becomes a better judgment call. You want to go to cart so it doesn't move. And there you can't...
Do you have any Tylenol by you right now?
What's that?
Do you have any Tylenol by you right now? Yeah. You're gonna feel some pain here.
No. Oh no!
So I shattered, but I didn't realize the Doom knocked me out of the BAP field. I was hoping to shatter and stop them at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. Oh boy.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Back and ready for more.
Okay.
Not as young as him. Barrier destroyed.
That's gutsy. Okay. Yeah. You were sort of in a devil's choice there, and I get it, but that was a gutsy swing.
Score 3-3. Initiating match.
It's okay. I believe in your ability to full hold them on Roadhog.
I wouldn't send a VOD review if it was a win.
Attackers incoming in.
Doesn't bother me if you send me a VOD review that's a win.
Ready for battle.
I am still going to find plenty of things for us to talk about.
I feel like the losses are the best ones because that's where like I didn't carry enough, you know.
Sure.
4, 3,
I switched to Hog here because I felt like if they were gonna go like dive again on my DPS on the other side, you remember how you were talking about how they killed our Mercy and our Ashe and there was nothing I could really do there as Ryan. I didn't want that to happen again, and I knew we needed a full hold to force a draw, so that's why I picked Roadhog instead.
Okay. That works for me.
Hello. Together we can solve any problem.
Oh boy. Point. You have to do it. Yep. Okay. You can't really be walking away right now with this breather. You get 50% damage reduction.
Wait, you get 50% damage reduction with Breather?
Yep.
I also didn't know that.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, so we know how that goes. Okay, so don't really care about your hog, but you should know you get 50% damage reduction. So what we are talking about with your Reinhardt didn't really change in the more footage that we saw. Like, even though it might not feel like it was super critical in this match, what's actually going to matter for helping you climb, for being able to do things, it changed a little bit. There's really three things we're going to talk about. The first thing is we do still need more decisiveness with our Reinhardt. More, no, I'm not changing my mind. I'm doing one thing. It's okay to do one thing and then change your mind, but you change your mind and you go do the other thing. You don't bounce back and forth while you're making a decision. You don't put your shield up in the open while you're making a decision. You go, hey, I'm going and doing this. It's very rare that we put our shield up in the open. We're doing that when we're low on health, or we're putting our shield up sort of in the open to let our team clear that. But, we can put it up again when we've been swinging at something and we expect to get healed to then continue swinging at them. But you're doing too much of this, I give a little bit of shield away. Or this, where it's the, I'm going to half back and go back in type thing. I'm going to half back and go back in type thing. Nothing's forcing you back. I know you've taken some damage, but you have a full shield left. You do not need to be forced back. You don't want to be here, but you do not need to be forced back until you determine that, oh no, we actually are full backing to this. Could you half back because there's a bubble Reinhardt that comes around and swings? Absolutely. Feel free to half back for that. Like, oh, I'm going to stand out of that, etc., because I don't have my own bubble to meet you. But you don't want to, for most of these things, be half backing, and you don't want to do this, oh, I'm sort of taking a couple steps, just giving you a second to do extra stuff to me. We don't really like that at all. So it is going to be a decisiveness thing that punishes you here. The second
Okay.
thing that we have to get into is you need to get more shatter value. Like if you're going to be taking over some of these games as Reinhardt and really making sure that the wins are in your court, are under your control, some of that is going to have to come from increased shatter value. And you did get too many canceled, blocked, whatever shatters, where it's a Doomfist that cancels it, it's a Winston Bubble that cancels it, it's a Doomfist that cancels it, it's a you get slept during your follow-up type thing. It's a you go for the fire strike so you don't get enough. So when it comes to your shatters, like there's multiple things that are sort of going to go wrong here. But what I want to start with is how do I want to best work on your shatters? Let's think for a moment. So we see our follow-up combo, and our follow-up combo is pretty easy. It should generally be we shatter them, we swing, and then we can crouch into a fire strike, or we can swing, crouch into a fire strike, depending on what we want to do. It's rare that we want to pin someone, though that will occasionally happen. The easier thing to probably, I mean, that's basics and like a 5-minute fix, though. The thing that we want to actually work on for your Earth Shatters and how we're going to work on them. Let me ponder for a moment what's gonna be the best prescription here. Like Winston bubbles are easy to play around. Those are a case of, as we saw there, it doesn't really matter. Like, yes, there's a little extra bit of a power boost you get if you shatter right as the bubble breaks, just like there is if you shatter right as the Reinhardt shield breaks, because people were perhaps relying on it thinking they had it for another moment. There is that, but like you can't be wrong. Like, and the value gain
Hmm.
isn't very big, and you can't be wrong. So, like, I'm not going to say don't push your limits, don't try to get it right, etc. But that mostly is a recognizing how fast is the bubble really breaking? How much is my team here? Like, on that one, it really wasn't there. And then it really just becomes you need to just track the things that can shut down your shatter. Like if you're going for these old reliable shatters as opposed to the surprise shatters, it's okay, well, what things on the other team can shut me down at the moment? A Winston Bubble can shut me down, a Sigma Rock can shut me down, a Sigma Barrier can shut me down, a Hog Hook can shut me down, a Sleep Dart can shut me down, and a Flashbang can shut me down. Okay, I need all of those things to be removed before I can hit an old reliable shatter. Now that doesn't mean you're always going to wait until all of those things are removed, but when do those things tend to not be an issue for you? Well, the answer is later in fights. So if you can drag the fight out a little bit and then find the shatter, even if you've devolved it a bit to like a 4v5 situation or something, more cooldowns are going to be out and your shatter is more likely to work. You can also start working in, well, what are shatters I can get to just skip that? Like, can I do a, hey, and everyone knows this one, but can I do a hiding shatter where they walk through and I shatter them type thing? You know, I shatter them from behind. Well, the answer is yes, I potentially can. Or maybe I'm here and I shatter them from behind. Like the answer is yes, you potentially can. Can I do a, hey, I'm fighting you, I walk past your Reinhardt and shatter him type thing? Yes, the answer is I potentially can. Like you start mixing up your shatters a little bit, but your real key is going to be you need to be paying more attention to these things that can cancel your shatters because we had a Doomfist rock happen. We had or not a Doomfist rock. Doomfist throws rocks. That's totally a thing. We had a Sigma rock. We had a Doomfist that messed up our shatter. We had a bubble that messed up our shatter. Like we're going to have to get more shatter value. And rather than teach all the individual shatters, I think the best thing is going to be watch for more of those things. You don't need every cooldown off the table, but you do need some combination of cooldowns are off the table and people aren't looking at me. So like you're not going to be like, oh hey, this Anna, the Anna just won't use her sleep, so I can't ever find a chance to shatter. That's okay. That's okay. You still might go for the shatter, especially under the cart or something where she can't see you, but then your follow-up is not going to involve your pin if she still has sleep left, right? If Hog still has hook left
Hmm.
and you get a shatter off because you do a Zarya bubble, you do it under the cart, whatever, you're not going to then have your follow-up involve pin because again it's too easy to cancel. So like we can change our follow-up, we can make sure that barriers are actually broken, we can time it on Sigma retract cooldowns on his barrier, and we can absolutely get rocks out of them first. Like that's not a hard thing to do. We can make sure that they're turned around and not looking at it. So like we're going to have to get more shatter value if we're going to win. It is a big and powerful ult, and I'm happy to talk about it at length, but for now, pay more attention to what things can block it and just sort of set up a flag list. And if there's 4 things on the enemy team that can give your Shatter trouble, make sure at least 2 of them are removed and 1 of them isn't paying attention before you go for your Shatter. Like, would you like all 4 to be gone? Yes, you'd absolutely love it. You in fact would like that to be the case every time. But you don't want to hold your Shatter forever either. So we're going to think a little bit more like that for now, okay?
I would say that about 90% of my shatters are what you call that old faithful, so I think I definitely need to get more creative with them too.
Okay. When it comes to getting more creative, you get a lot of variations. Obviously, we just talked about the one where you're lurking behind them, they walk forward and you shatter. You get about 1 of those per match. That's it. You can't do multiple in a round. You can't do 1 every round. You get about 1 of those per match. It's very easy to catch Reinhardts when they jump. Some Reinhardts will do this jumping thing, and what you can do is you can knock them to the side with your hammer. If you set yourself up, if the Reinhardt is here and he's jumping, you set yourself up to from your perspective to the right of him, and you swing from your right to your left. You'll knock him left, and you'll hit the shatter, and you'll shatter past to his team. You can also get right in his face. That's the, hey, I'm right in your face. We'll pretend this is Reinhardt. Like, I'm face to face with you, and I just go for my shatter. Could he pin you? He absolutely could pin you. So, like, that's a thing that you have to be aware of, but he's not going to be able to block in time. Whereas if you're playing at max hammer distance from each other, he is going to be able to block in time. There's also you let him shatter your team so that you can shatter him and his team back, right? You go, he has shatter, I'm going to off angle and invite him to shatter my team, and I'm going to shatter him and his team back, and I'm going to be my own follow-up because his team is on the ground. You get what I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
we have different types of shatters, and I can continue to go on about more different types of shatters, but, like, most of these are sort of you're one and done with them. Like, these are I'm not doing Old Faithful. Old Faithful is a good shatter, don't get me wrong, but these are I sort of get to do these once, but once wins me a team fight. And if I can get 2 or 3 one-off type shatters over the course of a match, I probably won the match, right? Because, like, if I just won 2 extra team fights or made questionable team fights wins for 2-3 extra team fights, that's a win. That said, you are going to increase your risk a little bit. Like, your shatter, there is the chance of you getting pinned when you do it right in his face. There is the chance of you go for your counter shatter and whoops, they had a cooldown you didn't realize and you get slept, so you don't get your counter shatter and he shattered your team. There are risks to this. You're lurking and they know you're lurking, so they immediately round the corner and beat you up and your team can't help you. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to do it. Do you have any other questions? If you have questions, I'm happy to go over them. Chat, if you guys have questions, put that up there. Do all of those make sense to you? Do you want it to? Oh, no, I think we talked that shatters. Oh, the third thing is going to be your angles. Do consider your angles, your corners better. I don't want you backing quite as easily, half backing like you were. But also, don't be afraid to take off angles, and don't be afraid to take flanks even on Ryan. Like, you can go, nope, I'm coming through here. Like, my team is pushing through here, and I'm coming through here. It doesn't matter that your team isn't protected from, like, oh, but, they don't have their shield. You know what I think about your team and needing your shield. So, like, don't be afraid to take these and then, aha, now I've got this to come through you on. Or there was a moment earlier where you and a buddy could have pushed I think it was out here. I don't remember what it was. You and McCree could have easily
pushed. It was the
pushed.
Hanzo at the next point up.
It was here, yes. You guys could have easily pushed this, and I have I would encourage you to do that. I don't care what's going on over here. You guys should go win this flank battle, because whoever gets control of this flank is going to have an easier time controlling how this battle over here unfolds. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, I exclusively play almost on the payload and playing that front line because I feel like I need to be in front of the team and take the space. But yeah, that's something I'll definitely work on, is taking those flanks more and getting more on the outside and hitting the back line.
It's not like you're a constant flank character who's coming through here and going and doing this, but when other people pull you up to the flank, there's very little reason you can't continue through it. When taking the flank is faster than taking the other out, great, go do it. Just mixing in the occasional I'm coming from a different angle is pretty darn powerful. The other Reinhardt gets uncomfortable when he loses track of you, and you'll sometimes run into people who are very not used to running into you. Like, you run into someone here and they're like, wait, there's a right, how do I duel a Reinhardt on the flank? Yeah. You get it.
Yes, I get you.
Okay. Any questions then?
I think I am good.
Okay. let me just catch up on chat then real quick. Let's take a quick look here. Everyone gets a rock. Mind games. Lots of people don't try out in quick play. You guys are having the quick play discussion. That's fine. You guys are talking about the power on laptops, probably inspired by my saying I actually have a decent GPU. Yes, you told Indy that, and that is correct, absolutely. And once again, thank you, Daunted, for the super chat there. Okay, I think we are good to go. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. And with that, temporal and eternal.